Ever since I was in college, I've always made a concerted effort to read. While I was never focused on the sheer quantity of books, I knew I wanted to focus on the quality of them. I always knew every time I got done reading, I was more inspired, I had more ideas, and I was just felt way better about myself. And with that, I wanted to share with you 3 books that you can read in 2022. The first book is Atomic Habits, written by James Clear. This book is all about productivity and also habit building. And one of the biggest takeaways and one of the biggest reasons I found so much value in this book was the idea that he harped on, is the idea of like small changes builds remarkable results. And what he means by that is by how daily habitual practice, how small or how big it is, will eventually lead you into the habit that you want to have. And I look at this in terms of an example. Let's say if you want to build a gym habit. I know for a lot of people at the start of the new year, that's the biggest thing they want to build. Like they want to increase their physical activity. They want to go to the gym. They want to, they just want to be fit. They want to be stronger. And what do you think most people do when January rolls around? They sign up for a gym membership. They go hardcore, really hard for the first 2 or 3 weeks. And then after that, they get sore, they get tired, and then all of a sudden little inconveniences pop up like, oh, I don't feel like driving there. Oh, I have work was busy. I have school. I have other things that are coming up in my life, so now I can't have time to go to the gym. And then all of a sudden when March, April, and May roll around, they've only been to the gym for those first 3 weeks in January, and they're back at square one where they're looking at themselves and they're thinking like, man, I never built this habit. And James Clear says in Atomic Habits that the best way to kind of build that habit is by frequently going and by simply showing up, whether it is the small habit of just going for 10 minutes and then leaving right afterwards. That's more important than just showing up every 3 days or every 4 days and putting in a 30-minute workout. And that's because by simply going in every single day for those 10 minutes, you are building the foundation and the identity that you are a person that never skips the gym. The second book is I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. I learned about Ramit through Matt D'Avella's video about, it was like a short, actually it wasn't short, it was like a 15 to 30 minute video, like a sit down conversation with Ramit. It was really fascinating, his idea about personal finance and his view on it. And he obviously promoted his own book and was talking about some of the concepts in that book, and I thought they were really interesting, so I decided to give it a shot. And I read it in the summer of 2019 when I was actually in Connecticut interning at ESPN, and it was a really fascinating read, and it was really helpful in terms of building some personal finance building blocks for myself. And one of the coolest, I guess, concepts he kind of mentioned in that book was the idea of money dials and how everyone on this earth has a money dial. And what he means by money dial is if you think of a dial, let's say, you have a burner, like a Bunsen burner or like a stovetop burner. Obviously, when you first start it, it's a bit low, but obviously when you crank it up all the way to high, the flames are going up. So if you think of a money dial in that same sense, where you have a money dial for a category of, let's say, shopping, food, groceries, eating out, going out, video games, tech. Everyone has these different money dials in these different categories, but each person's money dial in terms of how ignited the flame is or how high the flame is different. For some people, shopping is their biggest money dial, but the thing he's trying to kind of teach at with that money dial idea is that, okay, if you have a money dial that you really like, let's say it's shopping, or if it's groceries, or let's say if it's eating out a lot, or if it's going out, then crank up the money dial on that, but then bring down the money dial on all the other categories that don't really bring you a ton of value. The last book, it's a short one, but it's a very important one. It's called Cow in the Parking Lot, and it's essentially this kind of Buddhism take on dealing with anger. And for me, I've dealt with anger a decent bit throughout my life. Like I've always kind of been like an angry child and kind of been like an angry adult at times. I've kind of had these moments where everything bottles up and then I just explode. And I think around 2020, I felt like it was really time that I tried to address that, because I feel like, I was 22 at the time and I felt like I can't continue becoming so bottled up and filled with rage and then just exploding. So I found this book through a YouTube video and I decided to give it a shot. It was a really short read. It's maybe like 100 or so pages. But it gives you a lot of cool actionable steps that you can take to kind of help deal with your anger. And one of the biggest lessons from the book, or it's actually the opening lesson that kind of resonates the most with me, take a moment to imagine yourself in a crowded parking lot. Think of like a shopping center. You're in a crowded parking lot. You're looking for a parking spot to park your car, and you see one, but all of a sudden a car comes out of nowhere and takes that spot. And if you're like most people, it's been a long day, a frustrating day. If you're like most people, you're probably either going to honk your horn, say something underneath your breath, maybe give that other car, the other driver, the middle finger, and just kind of show them that, hey, like, I'm mad, and why did you take that spot from me? But now look at this same scenario, but instead of seeing like an actual person in that other car or another car taking that spot, imagine a cow literally being in that spot. How would you react that way? Most people at that point would either give it a laugh or just literally think to themselves like, what is going on? And all of a sudden that rage and that anger is gone. And that's the biggest thing that they try to teach you, is that in life, especially randomly in life, when it comes to like road rage or any type of like random encounters, in reality, it's never really anybody's intention to actually hurt you. I always try to remember that a cow is just in that position, and it's never anybody's intention to harm you or to anger you. And that's helped me a lot, and that book has definitely helped me kind of cool down my anger and just kind of live with it. And also other practices the book teaches to help kind of deal with anger in your life and just live a more peaceful and happy life. That's it. Those are the books, 3 books that I recommend reading in 2022. It's a short list, but I really do think that if you were to give these books a shot, it will definitely impact you positively when it comes to tackling your goals and basically living and achieving all the goals you want to set in 2022. So thanks again for watching. Bye.